everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you a beautiful traditional Ukrainian recipe for how to bake a poppy seed roll called Makivnyk. Now it is Ukrainian Christmas Eve, and this is one of the dishes that is typically served during the Christmas Eve for Ukrainians. So I'm going to start with 4 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to combine my dry ingredients first. I have just over a 1/4 cup of sugar. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, and I have 2 teaspoons of instant dry yeast. Now I'm just going to stir that through so these things are evenly combined. The dry ingredients, mix them through. Now I have just over 1 cup of milk that I need to scald. You can either do it in the microwave or you can do it on your stovetop. Now scalding the milk is bringing it up to, a simmer, a bubble, but not necessarily boiling it through, okay? So this will probably take about a minute in my microwave. I also have 1 egg that I have at room temperature, and I'm just going to mix that through in its own little bowl first, whisk that with a fork. Now this is a traditional sweet dough for Ukrainians. It's used for a lot of different recipes, in fact, not just Makivnyk, but it can be used in a number of different ways. Okay, my milk is nice and warm. That's gonna go in. Stir that through while I'm adding it, in fact. In goes 3½ tablespoons of melted butter, as well as that 1 egg that I whisked up. Now do your best to stir this through right now. You could use a mix master for this if you wanted to, but I'm going to do this by hand because it won't take long to knead. It's an easy dough. That sugar helps the yeast grow. So you can just do this on your countertop or on a pastry sheet, but I'm going to just put some bench flour down so the things don't stick and turn this dough out. You can see the consistency of the dough. That's what it looks like right now. And I'm just going to start kneading this. This is going to go for about 8 to 10 minutes by hand, and I'm just going to pull this all together as best I can. Don't use too much bench flour. You don't want to introduce too much dry flour. Keep it that same kind of consistency, hydration. It smells good. So when you're kneading dough, you're going to pull it towards you over top of itself and push down away from you. Do a 1/4 turn and repeat. And just keep doing that. That's what kneading is. So you have to work that dough. It's nice and warm actually, so that you can develop that gluten. That way you get those nice bubbles in your dough and things rise and they're nice and light. Gorgeous. Now if it starts sticking, just add a little bit of bench flour. Try and get everything in there. It's like my mama and my grandma did it. Alright, so I've been kneading this dough for 10 minutes. You're going to feel that it's much more smooth and it's much more together, and I'll show you what it looks like. You're going to form it into a nice ball, best you can. Okay, beautiful ball. It smells delicious and yeasty in here. I love baking bread. There you go. So that's what it looks like, okay? I have a large bowl. You need a bowl that it's at least 3 times larger than it, because it's going to really inflate, okay, with air from the yeast. So I'm just going to grease this bowl quickly, lightly, with oil or with butter. And in goes my dough. Now you can cover this with plastic wrap if you like, but that's not how my mommy and my grandmother did it. I'm going to cover it with a linen tea towel. And you're going to put it somewhere where it's nice and in a warm location or a sunny location, or somewhere where there's not going to be any cold or draft. Like don't put it by a door, for instance, especially since it's winter here. Alright, so nice and warm. This is going to rise for about an hour and a half or 2 hours, as long as you have. So if I have 2 hours, I'm going to do it for that long. And I guess you'll see me then. Alright, my dough is almost just totally risen. It looks beautiful for the Makivnyk. And I'm going to get the ingredients ready for the filling. Now it's a poppy seed and hazelnut filling that I'm doing today. And we're going to start by putting our poppy seeds. I have just over maybe a cup and maybe a tablespoon of poppy seeds, and I'm going to grind that in my coffee grinder. Now these are dry poppy seeds as opposed to the wet ones that I used in my kutia recipe for the winter wheat berry pudding, a sweet wheat berry pudding. So we're going to make a powder essentially with this. I'm going to have to do this in smaller batches. So grind those poppy seeds up until they're a nice powder. Looks good. Into another bowl. And just continue with that until they're done. I love the dramatic color of poppy seeds. It's going to look lovely in this nice light colored dough with a nice black, dark black swirl. Okay, my poppy seeds are done, and you can see that they're a lot finer and lighter as well. Next on my stovetop, I'm going to melt 2 tablespoons of butter in a saucepan on a low heat with just over 4 tablespoons of honey. So stir that through, make sure that that's nice and melted, the butter into the honey. And in the meantime, I'm going to separate 2 egg whites from 2 egg yolks. Now I'm going to use the egg whites in the filling to make a meringue to add to the poppy seed mixture. So make sure you get no egg yolk in there at all, because that will definitely corrupt your meringue. The egg yolks will be used as an egg wash on the top of the poppy seed loaf and anything else that you're baking alongside this. So the egg yolks are set aside. Well, I have 5 minutes until my kutia is done in the oven, and I have just enough time to get my poppy seeds mixed with the honey and butter. And 1 tablespoon of brandy. You can use any kind you like, a regular brandy, or you can use an apricot. We're using a cherry one tonight because that's what we have on hand. It will go lovely with the hazelnuts and all these other flavors. Now stir, stir, stir. You're gonna cook that for 5 minutes. You want that to be completely moistened. If you see that it's a little too dry, you can add a couple drops of water at a time as necessary. You do not want this to burn or to get too dry, okay? So stir that through, get everything mixed, and you have 5 minutes to cook that. You're going to make a paste, basically, with this. All those smells in the kitchen are amazing.
Oh, they are.
Now, this recipe is definitely a labor of love. You get to use all of your equipment in your kitchen as well. Today, we use our coffee grinder, our food processor. We're gonna use our mixer in a second. Now, I've got half a cup of hazelnuts, which I smashed up. I wanted to be able to at least measure half a cup of my smashed hazelnuts. And now we're gonna grind that through in my food processor. You want that to be nice and fine. Now that's more like a hazelnut meal at this point, nice and finely ground. And now I'm going to add this gorgeous poppy seed paste that we did on the stovetop. That's going in with the brandy and honey and that butter. Don't miss any of that. This is your filling that's going to be spread inside these gorgeous roll, and I also might do a couple pastries to show you how to do that as well. If this mixture seems a little too dry for a paste, you may add a couple drops of water, okay? Don't forget, we're going to add the meringue to it, and that's going to be rather wet as well. Also, 2 tablespoons of lemon zest go in this. Now, if you don't have lemon zest, you could always use another kind of citrus zest. 2 tablespoons. All right, turn that food processor on and let that mix really, really well. You also might have to scrape down the sides to make sure that everything is getting evenly combined. Oh, that lemon zest in there just brightened everything up. Ooh, that's gonna be good. All right, so we're gonna whip up our 2 egg whites. Clean bowl, clean beaters. Make sure they're grease-free or that meringue won't work well. I'm going to halfway whip this to a medium stiff peak. Not all the way stiff, you don't want it dry either. So medium stiff, which means they're going to make peaks and they're going to be able to fall down. Halfway through this whipping, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of icing sugar and some cream of tartar just to help stabilize. Okay, I'd say that's about halfway. I'd add maybe half at a time of the icing sugar. Stir that to combine. The other half. And I'm going to add 1/8 teaspoon of cream of tartar just to stabilize this meringue. And finish whipping to a medium stiff peak. It's nice and glossy. I would say this is medium stiff. That's what it's going to look like. You can make a peak, but it'll fall over. All right, here's our gorgeous paste with the hazelnuts now. I've whipped my egg whites. Now you can get another bowl if you want to, but I'm just going to mix this all together in the same bowl. We're going to try and fold this, the egg whites sort of into this paste, or vice versa. It's very heavy, and that's why you want to add these egg whites. Also, this mixture is rather dry. It is pasty, but it is dry. So do your best not to waste any of that poppy seed mixture. All right, so evenly combine the poppy seeds and the egg white mixture. Mix them well. The egg whites are really gonna lighten this mixture up a lot. All right, so mix it well, but don't overmix it because you still wanna keep some of those egg whites, you know, all the light bubbles that you just created in the meringue. Now set this off to the side, not for too long. I've got about 20 whole hazelnuts left from my hazelnut stash to decorate the tops of this poppy seed roll, as well as the little pastries. Now don't forget about those 2 egg yolks. We're gonna add 1 tablespoon of cold water to them, and we're gonna whisk that up in a small bowl to make an egg wash, and that's gonna go on the top of the roll and these pastries. It's gonna look so beautiful and glossy and browned when they bake up, okay? So I want everything prepared on the side before I start getting my dough prepared here. Okay, now my dough has probably quadrupled in size. It looks beautiful. It's still kind of warm, and that's good. I wanted to keep it in a nice warm area. It smells heavenly. All right, a little bit of bench flour so things don't stick. I want to divide this into 2 portions, 2 equal portions. First portion I'm going to use for the roll, and for the second half of the portions I'm going to make 4 little pastries. All right, so let's pull it out of here. Cut it in half roughly. Sharp knife. I'm gonna put half back in that bowl and keep it moist and warm while I'm waiting. All right, in order to make 4 of these pastries, we're going to cut this beautiful dough, the rest of it, into 12 equal portions. So the easiest way to do that is to pull that apart, you know, kind of spread it like you did the roll, and then eyeball, okay? Cut it in half, and then out of each one of those, you need 6. So cut that in half again, each, and then cut that into 3 equal portions. Or you can weigh them if you want to be really, really precise. So I'm going to put them back in the bowl and cover them until I'm ready for each set of 3. So you're going to take these 3 and you're going to roll each one of these out into a flat, ovally pancake. Alright? Equal sizes as best you can. They can be nice and thin. Stretch them into the shape that you want to try and get them as equal as possible. Okay? Something like that, along the lines of a little oval. Okay? 3 of them. And these are going to get stacked on top of each other. And you can do a gorgeous little design. And use the rest of your poppy seed mixture. Now some people make these little pastries and they just put honey in them, or sprinkle nuts on the honey, or they use jam, or you can use this poppy seed mixture that we made for the roll. And it's, again, it's very forgiving. Just don't break through the layers. Be gentle and try and make equal shapes. If one is slightly larger than the others, put that one on the bottom when you stack. Okay. They're nice and thin. I would say they're, about 1/8 of an inch. Okay, I have roughly 3 pancake size pieces of dough ready to stack. Okay, like I said, put the biggest one on the bottom if there is a bigger one. I'm going to spread the poppy seed mixture just the same, nice and thin, within about 1 inch of the sides, on 2 of the layers. Those are going to be the 2 bottom layers. You can do it thinner with these because they are more delicate than the giant roll, right? You could even switch up layers. You could do 1 layer of honey with nuts, and do another one with the jam or the poppy seed mixture. Again, mix and match, use what you have. use what you like. I just love the color difference, the black with the light colored dough, and how beautiful that looks when everything's swirled together and cut and, you know, prepared beautifully. Okay, another layer. The top layer gets nothing, okay? Make sure you save enough of the mixture for 4 of these guys. Next, we're going to layer them. So place the one on top of the other, the 2 that have the filling. They look lovely. I would kind of pinch those together on the edges where there's just the dough to kind of try and seal that a little bit. And put the top one on top of that. Do the same sort of thing. Press that down along the edges a little bit. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect either, because even though it's sealed a little bit, it's still going to kind of ooze out the sides, and that's really going to be pretty too. Alright, if you put a nice slit down the center, keeping about 1 inch on the top and 1 inch on the bottom, so right through the middle, okay, lengthwise, it allows you to do a really neat pattern. Don't go too far, because that still needs to hold together. Okay, so now I'm twisting it to you. Make sure it's cut all the way through too. So we're going to flip the top part back through this the slit, okay? Very gently. And bring that right through that hole. And you're going to see the beautiful layers that you've got. And bring that to the point where you can flip that all the way to where it's flat again. So this top just got sliced and pushed through and brought back up. Okay? Next, this bottom part is going to get pushed down through. Okay? Just the same. And flipped underneath. So now you've got this super cool layered pattern that you're going to be able to see the poppy seeds through. Check that out. Okay? So the top goes in and under, the bottom goes underneath and through. See? That's the little tail. And I'm going to place that right on my silicone lined baking sheet. Push the center together so there's less of a slit. Okay? And right in the center, I'm going to put my little hazelnut right where you tucked that bottom in. It's going to rise around that. And I'm going to put a little egg wash on there too. Okay? If you want to sprinkle the top of that again with poppy seeds, you can, but I'm not going to on these because it looks really nice to be able to see these layers, all ruffly layers. Okay? Get the egg wash on and then pin that together with a nice little hazelnut. So let me show you. And there you go, like a little belly button. Okay? And continue on with the other 3 sets of 3 pieces of dough you have, and make 4 of these gorgeous pastries. You'll see how beautiful they are when they puff up. Alright, these 4 are done. They're so pretty. Look at that. And they're ready to go in. You can imagine how pretty they're going to be when they come out. They are also going to go in for 30 to 35 minutes. I would start checking them around 22-ish to make sure all is well. These aren't as big as the roll, and the roll just finished, and it took me 26 minutes to look golden and beautiful. So I'm going to start looking at these around 22 minutes just to make sure all is well. In they go, 375. Well, these might just be the prettiest things I have ever made. These are absolutely glorious. If you bring that to the table, your celebration, your feast, whatever, boy, people are going to be impressed with these. All right, onto the cooling rack. These are going to cool as well until we're ready to eat them, or you can eat them when they're slightly warm. You could even put butter on them if you wanted to. There you go, let's put it with the bread. Mom's gonna have this piece, And I'll try one of these pastries for you just to show you what's going on. Oh, that's so nice. It's a sweet dough, so it's great for dessert, especially on this Ukrainian Christmas Eve. Tender.
Good.
How do you like the filling?
Beautiful.
Did I do it right?
It's delicious.
Here's our gorgeous pastries. They are really, really impressive, I have to say. Look at this perfect little thing. And how the poppy seed filling kind of popped out of all those little ruffly ridges. Ooh, that's exciting. So you pull this apart and look at that. It pulls apart almost like a croissant. Look at that, all in there. All the nooks and crannies, Mommy.
Beautiful. Oh, this is so delicious.
Is it? Oh, good. Well, let me try it. It's crispy on the outside. The dough is just sweet enough. It's not too sweet. The filling is just sweet enough. It's not too sweet. It's the perfect ending to a meal. A big meal.
You get a little nut.
That is good. I like the hazelnuts in there. Not that I don't like almonds in there, but I like the hazelnuts.
Me too.
And you can really taste that lemon zest. These little layers do just that. Break off into layers. You can pull them off. Oh, that is nice. Want to try that? Light and fluffy dough.
Really good.
Now you can taste the lemon, but it's not overpowering.
Beautiful. Perfect with a cup of tea.
I was just about to say that. Perfect with a cup of tea, glass of milk for the kids. It's sweet enough for the kids that they'll like it. And I think it's
Right.
that it's not too sweet for the adults. It's just right. That's good.
Wonderful.
So that's how you do it. That's how you make Makivnyk. It's called a lovely poppy seed roll. You can do 2 rolls like this. That is impressive. That'd be a wonderful gift to bring to someone's house for the Christmas Eve feast.
That's right.
You know, so someone doesn't have to do all the work.
That's right.
And then you have one at home too.
It's wonderful.
Make 2.
Wonderful.
They're gorgeous. These are absolutely beautiful. And if you're gonna go all out and make this, because it is a food of love, you can go ahead and make a double batch. You know?
That's what I would do.
Make it for a variety of people. You could do 8 or 16 even of these pastries, you know, and be done with it.
So good.
And they'll be great for breakfast tomorrow on Christmas Day. So that's how you bake Makivnyk. It is a sweet dough and it's a beautiful poppy seed roll. Okay? Traditionally speaking.
Fabulous, Kim.
You want to do that next year?
Absolutely.
Anyway, follow me on Twitter at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E, like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. You can find me on instagram.com/webchefofalltrades. Find my shows on iFood TV at my.fossum.tv/cookingwithkimberly, youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, or you can find me on Roku. My channel is Cooking with Kimberly, and I'm also syndicated on Apple TV, Amazon, and a few other places. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe. Interact with us and let us know what's going on in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.